Welcome back to another edition of the National Blinded Veterans Organization Incorporated right here. My name is David King. I'm sorry I never tell you that before, but today I'm making sure you know who I am. It is a great opportunity to have you visit us and even show up for our Thursdays event. We look forward to you to sharing this information, sharing the link as much as possible. We do this twice a month on 2 different activities. So we thank you for it. We are on our 3rd year, celebrating our 3rd year of the National Blinded Veterans Organization Incorporated, and that is something to celebrate. We do have various ways to be able to connect with us. One way is through our Facebook page. There'll be some interactions, even more interactions will be coming up as people post and more memberships are joining our Facebook page, as well as our webpage. Nbvo-Arf-Jun-2026-John Williams. You can go there and get updates. And I believe we're also going to be linking our videos of these presentations tonight on to our webpage as well as YouTube page. So there's ways to get in contact with us. If you need to contact any one of us, you can do that through Ray or me or Kelly. Kelly and Ray are 2 of our hosts. So we appreciate you being with us again. And without any further ado, we want to present to you tonight our host who will be introducing our guest speaker for tonight. So Ray, it's on you, buddy. Take it away.
Hi, this is Ray Morales, and I'm going to be filling in for Kelly Reamer tonight. But he's usually the host for the Adaptive Sports Night. But I'm going to try and fill his shoes. So you can contact us, any of us, the board members, through our email address. You just type in, I'll give you an example, ray.morales@nbvo.org. And that'll shoot an email to me. And again, any of our board members, David King, Kelly Reamer, Keith Heltsley, or Terry Heltsley. So if you want to contact any of us board members, please do that. So tonight we're going to be, it's a real treat because a good friend of mine is going to be telling you guys about cycling. So he's going to tell all different kinds of competitive cycling and just recreational cycling. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Johm Williams. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you for inviting me tonight. And I've been trying to get David out on a good long bike ride for a while. And, I will. I'll eventually get him on a long ride.
That's a long ride out to North Carolina.
It is, but it's downhill after you get across the mountains.
Yeah.
So it's. I live in North Carolina. I live in the suburb of Charlotte. I'm a Navy veteran from many decades ago, and I have gotten into. I'm a blinded veteran, and I became blinded in about 2015, and since then, of course, like everybody else, you have to make alterations in your lifestyle. And I was going to the VA, and I got very lucky with assigned a VIS coordinator that was very active. She was an ex-Marine and very, very good in believed in recreational therapy and what the VA calls fitness for life, and believed in getting her vets involved in different activities. And the activities she got me involved in was competition, like in the Golden Age games, disc golf, some things like that. And I fell in love with them. And then we were shown some tandem bikes. And at the VA, where we did our training, and I had an opportunity to ride one day. at the VA. And of course, it was like most big VA hospital campuses, a pretty big place. So we got to ride around all over. And I fell in love with it. I'd never been on a recumbent bike. For you guys that are not familiar with a recumbent, that's a bike that you sit down in, and it's a trike. It's three-wheel, so you don't have to worry about balance. It stays balanced well all the time. And I rode in the back, and somebody else was riding in the front, and they were the pilot, and they could see, and you sat, and they pedaled, and you pedaled, and it was great. And we rode in. I'm kind of in the foothills, and it's kind of hilly, and it was really nice. The bike, because of the gearing system, you could go up hills, and you didn't have a problem pedaling around. And it was really nice, and I really liked it. And I got started in the process of going to my primary doctor, who did a consult for me, to prosthetics, who they really handled the bikes. And I went over and talked to them, and talked about the right bike, and got a tandem. And the VA supply, and got involved with some biking groups that are local, that have a lot of trikes. In fact, there's one that's a veteran-based group that's all trikes, and not blinded necessarily, but trikes of different types. And these are guys, that some of them are amputees and have hand cycles, and some guys are, have back problems. One guy that's become a good friend of mine is partially paralyzed, but he can pump the bike. Has problems he could never do a regular bike, but he can ride that bike fantastically. And so, you adapt to what you can do. And this was such a great thing. It was a whole new thing to me. And we were able to go on these organized rides, and you don't go out in traffic or anything. We did mainly greenways and different things like that. And then in the organized rides, there's protection provided by chase vehicles, kind of things that stop traffic and let us go through on, and we use more rural roads. And then I got fairly proficient at it, and started going on some national rides, and went with World Team, and did Face of America, which is right from Arlington, Virginia, Arlington National Cemetery, to Gettysburg National Cemetery. We rode across the whole state of Maryland, and it was well organized, no problems, beautiful weather, beautiful day, and just had a great rides. And you can go on these events. I went to Tucson, Arizona, and rode. There's what they call the loop that goes around Tucson. It's over 100 miles. And it's just for pedestrians, joggers, bicyclists, and like that. And we didn't, of course, ride the whole thing, but we rode part of it. I believe it was Tuesdays. We'd go out on Tuesday nights and ride there. And they had an adaptive bike club that supplied bikes to us to go ride. I know in Iowa, they have RAGBRAI, and they have an adaptive health team, an adaptive bike team that you can join. And they ride across the whole state, about 450 miles in 6 days. And you have places to sleep and everything like that. It's all set up with chase vehicles and such. So there's all kinds of organized rides. There's rides in Missouri. The Katy Trail has a ride. Whatever state you can pick. There's organized rides. There's one from Cheyenne to Abilene. There's one even from San Diego to St. Augustine, Florida. So there's plenty of great rides for everybody to get involved in. Local communities all have cycling clubs. And there's a lot of veteran cycle clubs and that even work hand in hand with rec therapy in the VA. And they work with you and coordinate with the rec therapist and such as that. And they can show you bikes, train you on bikes, run you through, help you every step of the way. And it's a great way to have a low impact, great way to exercise, mostly safely and be outdoors and be with some great folks.
All right, John, you want to open it up for questions?
Sure.
Don't be shy, guys. Ask your questions.
John, can you all hear me? Sure. What event are you talking about that's coming up now that we can look forward to, or do we have time enough to sign up for this? Because I think isn't this coming up in the fall in Cleveland?
It is. Well, the biking is open right now in Cleveland from spring to fall. They don't offer it in the wintertime, and they have a full biking program I went through. It's for 2 weeks, and you go up there and they'll take you out most every day for 2 weeks, and you ride your bike with one of the instructors, and well, really 2 instructors. One is on your bike, and then the other instructor is on a regular bicycle and kind of goes ahead and behind, back and forth, making sure everything's safe. And they instruct you on how to communicate with the pilot, safety, just normal safety things that you need to know in order to ride all the way through, and how to do different things, how to maneuver intersections, and handle different things that have come up on your ride and answer those questions. It's great. And Cleveland is, I did it in the fall and it was wonderful. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And we went riding in fact, right out of the VA, 3.5 miles down to the marina on Lake Erie, and rode around down there and back. And then they have another ride that they have this beautiful greenway that goes out of Cleveland that goes south, following a canal and a river. The river flows north, but the trail you take south, and you can go as far as you want to and come back. I think the trail's about 100 miles. So
the event coming up this fall, you're saying at Cleveland, is that primarily the place, or is there other locations? You did mention some other places that
yes.
have them, but this is not the time they have them, is it?
No, you have to watch where you go. Tucson is the other place that has it, but Tucson doesn't do it in the summer. It's too hot in Tucson. But I was there in January and February. We went riding every day. The weather was, in the 70s. It was great.
And that's better than the temperatures right now.
Yeah.
So when you go to do this, and you've been through the process before, because I've seen you in Cleveland at the time, and that's where we met.
Yep.
The process is, did you bring your own bike, or do they supply the bike?
No, they supply everything. Helmet, everything. Water bottles, everything. You don't have to worry about anything. You just supply yourself. and have the right attitude that you want to learn and try something to see if you'll like it or not. The unknown is always a question, and your attitude can determine a lot. If you get so.
This is Keith Helsley. Is there any kind of physical requirements, like physical health or height and weight or something? Or
No, not that I know of. There's, you need to be in, if you can walk, if you can walk okay, then you can do this. If, as far as I know, there isn't anything else. One thing this does, it'll help your weight, and it'll help your respiratory system, everything. Just, riding the bicycle on a regular basis is something that's good for you.
and you said this is a program that all the VA hospitals have to the rec therapy, or do you know?
Yeah, as far as I know, all the VA hospitals have it. Whether or not how active they are with it, I don't know. I know, like in Colorado Springs, I was talking to a friend of mine out there that's a blinded veteran, and he went on a ride with 40 vets that got bicycles all out of the VA in Colorado Springs, and they went on a bike ride together. So they're very active in it, and my VA, which is actually in a place called Salisbury, it has a lot of bikes out there. They invite rec therapy, invites some of these adaptive sports companies to bring their bikes in and show them, so people can see them and try them out. But rec therapy is who runs it, kind of.
And so you would need to be involved with rec therapy to be, I guess, analyzed, and then they would issue you a bike through the VA?
Yeah, your doctor, your primary doctor, can recommend you to have a bicycle or a bike cycle consult. It was the words that was used, a cycle consult. And
Cycle consult.
Yep. And when you have that cycle consult, prosthetics is who actually issues the bike, but they work hand in hand with rec therapy.
So would the process be first to go to the primary care or first to go to the rec therapy?
I would go to primary care first, and because they're going to get you in. And I'd talk to rec therapy too and say, hey, what cycling events have you got? What do you have for us?
Real quick, and I just want to clarify, because I've been, I've heard about the program in Cleveland. This is Harvey. How you doing?
Hey,
you don't have to bring a pilot to go to Cleveland? I
didn't have one.
Oh, somebody told me you had to bring a pilot, but okay.
But that was mentioned before too, pertaining to the pilot. Good that you brought that up. So along the journey, as you use these bikes, don't you have to have a pilot to work with you on, even when you go back home? That's a good question.
Yes, you need to have a pilot, and that's why these groups, these vet groups that are in your area, will have connections about pilots. There is a internet online link that you can register your name and where you're at, kind of information, and they match pilots to the riders, and if you're a pilot, you can just log on and say, hey, I'm a pilot and I'm willing to ride with somebody, to navigate for somebody. And if you want, David, I'll send you that link,
Yeah.
that internet site, and you can post it.
Okay.
But there's ways to communicate. Most of the cycle groups, they're just regular people, you know what I mean? And if you ask them, they'll spread the word and say, hey, yeah, George over here is willing to pilot for you, and then you meet George and y'all work it out and go riding.
So back to what Harvey was asking, clarification. I mean, I was just iterating what he was saying because we did talk about that preliminarily once before. So what's the process now when you go to the place and they provide training for you there at the place?
Yes.
Basically.
And that's a big deal, because if you get that training, you have shown them, and they give a report to prosthetics that you've completed that and shown that you can ride the bike and you understand what you've got to do. And that makes the VA more willing to. These bikes are expensive.
Yes, they are.
They're $8,000 to $20,000 a piece. And they buy them and supply them happily if they think you're going to use them.
Now, my biggest question is, and we didn't see an example of a bike. I wish you'd have shown us a picture of one of your bikes or something, but that's okay. We can go online and look at that. But storage for those, getting them around the place, what about that for you and convenience for the rest of us?
Well, there's different ones, like different bikes, different ones. They break down into two pieces because they're really two bikes. And then you can put them into like the bed of a truck or the back of a van or on a trailer and carry them.
Yeah, I'd never seen anyone do that, but we talk about the tandem bike, but we never see how they're transported and so forth.
Now, I have a trailer for mine. I have a little 10-foot trailer, and mine is called a Trident Chameleon, and I put that on that trailer and just strap it down, and we're off to the races.
Okay. But there's no problem with storing it in your house and garage or anything like that?
No.
Take up any extra heavy space or?
No, the bike, might weigh 80 pounds because it's really two bikes, and it's a trike. So, and it depends on the kind you get. If you get a Hasta, which is kind of like the Rolls Royce of these bikes, they're German made. That means rabbit in German, and it's those bikes are about 95 pounds, and they're more elaborate. But mine is more like a Chevrolet, and it's a very good bike. I like it very well, and it's called a Trident is the brand name, and then the Chameleon, because it will break apart and you can ride two bikes instead of one bike
individually. And that's a good idea. Good. That's a couple retreat thing, kind of, isn't it?
Yeah. Now these bikes come with, and the VA buys a motor, and it's called an e-motor. And it's got, depending on what type you have, it's got different speeds, though. They all do 3-speed or 5-speed or something. But the top speed works about out the same on both, any model you get. But I keep mine down on the first speed, and it'll cut in when it feels my friction, like I'm all of a sudden hit a steep hill or I'm at a stop sign just getting ready to go from dead stop to moving, that motor will cut in and help me going until I get up to the friction drops off and then the motor stops again. It just comes in when I need to. That way I get my exercise. Now you can cut that thing on and just be like driving a car. You know what I mean? It'll run just on the electricity itself. But I had never done that, but you could.
Well, with that motor on there, I can go anywhere with you, partner.
That's right. That's how you get here.
That motor is more appealing to me than, because you're talking about long distance that you did. I'm thinking if you're on the lower part of the bike, that's the hardest part, seems like, isn't it? Because you're sitting low and you're cycling like a tricycle. And the person up front is leading, from what I've seen of the bike. It's like the guide on the front bike don't have to go through what you're going through, but leads you, but you're down low and you're still cycling along with the other person, right?
Yeah, you're cycling the same, whether you're in the front or in the back. It's just your positions look different. But as far as the effort you're putting out, it's the same. But you're not synced. You're not locked in. I rode, in fact, the Face of America ride. I was on a traditional tandem 2-wheel bike, and because that's what the guy had, and I rode his bike, and on that kind of bike, the gears are synced. The front gear and the back gear pedals are synced together. So if he's going fast, you're going fast, and you got to keep up. You can't go at a different speed. On these, they're different. They're completely different system. So you can pedal harder or softer than what the guy up front's doing. And so what traditionally we do is the back guy's really called the grunt. You know, our job is to pedal. You know, he's got to get the person up front has to navigate and steer and know when to instantly hit the brakes and all those things. So pedaling is secondary to that person, where it's primary to us. And then, of course, communications, you have to learn good communications with you and the pilot, back and forth. That pilot has to be telling you what's going on if situations are changing, so you can react, like quit pedaling if he's starting to brake, or if he's getting ready to go through a left turn, then you don't want to pedal as hard, or, you know you're going off to the left a little bit or whatever. So you have to, learn some communication skills. You've got to let the pilot know if something's going on with you or what's going on in the back. Now, they've got helmets that actually have communications equipment that you can talk to each other back and forth. It Bluetooths the helmet to helmet, and you can, the VA will supply those helmets to you.
Interesting. Sounds interesting. You may get me one of these years yet, John.
When I did the Cleveland bike thing, they let my wife come in, and she stayed right there in the hospital with me. We stayed in the same room. So you can bring your spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and they'll accommodate them too.
Yeah. They're very, very thorough, Cleveland, I thought. What did you think?
I loved it. I had a great time. Yeah, they were very, very thorough. They were talking about riding 20 miles a day or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
20 miles?
Well, I've ridden 100.
Yeah.
Today?
But that's the most.
Without stopping or no brakes? Come on now. I'm looking
No,
for.
no, we stop. We stop for water breaks and food breaks.
All right.
In 100 miles, we stop 4 times.
About every 25 miles.
Yeah.
This is Keith. Back in my younger days, whenever I was a lot much more thinner, my longest bike ride was about 40 miles. It wasn't the bike ride that hurt; it was the seat.
Was it a
Yeah.
banana seat?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I just had a regular 10-speed.
That was a
Yeah,
banana seat.
that seat will tear you up. I know. I rode 110 miles on a regular seat bike, and I had blisters. But that but the recumbent is like sitting in a nice recliner chair. It supports your back and sides and everything. And it's cushioned if you want it to be. You can get a cushioned seat.
Isn't North Carolina where they have the naked bike ride?
I don't know. I couldn't see it. I wouldn't appreciate
My
it.
goodness, Kelly.
I thought that was Philadelphia. I know St. Louis has one
Leave
too.
it to Terry to ask that question.
This Terry Heltsley. I went to rec therapy in St. Louis down at Jefferson Barracks. The guy down there is John Schmink or something like that. And me and my wife were trying to get it was a tricycle side by side. We sit there and she would steer, of course. But she couldn't pass her pilot's license, and so we couldn't get it. But and then we they told us that in order for us to get a bike, a big one, we couldn't weigh over 500 pounds together. And so I weighed 350. My wife weighed 200. And so I told him, I said, well, if she loses 100 pounds, we're good to go, right?
Like her was the problem.
Yeah.
And so
I had somebody break a bike just like mine. A friend of mine, pilot, weighed over 300 pounds, and they didn't know about the weight limit, and they broke an axle on the front wheels. And but that was repaired, but of course he had to get a new pilot. But it depends on the bike. I know that Hosto will carry a lot heavier weight, but it depends on the bike.
That's the granddaddy.
my thing was, whenever I still had vision, I could ride a mountain bike, even though I weighed almost 300 pounds. The diameter of the bars on the bike were just fine. Now that I'm 350 pounds, they want to give me a bike that's got like a 2-inch bar all the way through the whole frame, and I'm like, I don't think it needs to be that big. But anyway,
Was that for your balance or for your leverage?
for the weight.
Well, the
extra weight. Okay.
Hasa, I believe is how they pronounce it. It's HASA. It's a German bike, and I think that would fulfill your weight limit without a problem.
It's more sturdy. You're saying it's more sturdy built?
Much sturdier. So German.
My wife would probably go ahead and pass take her little pilot's license test if we could get that motor put on there too.
Oh, no doubt. You're definitely going to need that motor going in the inclines.
The bike they had in Cleveland was the one I got. It was a big one-piece bike, and it'll hold 800 pounds.
Is that what you sent me here?
Yeah, I sent you a picture of that, David, what it looks like.
Yeah.
I know you can't see the whole bike, but
yeah, I can see most of it though.
Yeah, that's like 800 pounds right there. You can.
Yeah, some of those bikes and don't use a tube system. They're more a rail system, and they're a lot sturdier.
Yeah, it's like a long piece of steel tubing.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, it sounds interesting, John.
You when you look for a bike, you want to see how they're adjusted and stuff like that because we are blind. You don't want it too complicated, and
Want it to be sturdy though.
it has to be sturdy, and you want to watch the tires depending on the terrain you're planning on riding on and things like that. So they're out there, but there's plenty of help. And the VA usually doesn't go get a bike out of stock and hand it to you.
I want a brand new one.
So that's what they give you is brand new ones. And,
Did they give you the option of using your own hometown bicycle shop
to get it fixed, repaired?
Yes,
repaired.
they do. You have to. The shop has to talk to the VA, and I don't know if they're agreeing to certain standards or certain terms. I'm not sure what it is, but they have to talk to the VA, and then the VA approves them, and then they'll do any maintenance that needs to be done.
Yeah, and that's great because it's your local bike shop.
Here,
Something you can go get it from them or take the bike in and get it tuned up or whatever you got to do.
Yeah, and the VA wants you to keep it in tune and maintenance and everything.
Do they pay for the maintenance?
Yes.
That'd be better.
Yeah.
That's
why the shop has to be approved by the VA. But I don't know anything about what goes into that approval, but I know that my bike shop, I just talked to the guy and he said he was already approved by the VA. So
yeah, I think all they got to have is insurance and a business license number.
Yeah.
And once they get that on file, you can use them anytime they want.
Yeah. I guess they want to make sure it's a legitimate business. And
so how many pounds have you lost since you started that tandem bike, John? I know you was kind of a little fellow when I met you. So
yeah. Well, I stay slim. I'm 153 and 5'10", so that's I don't put on any weight. It works.
Well, I thought you had lost some before I met you, so
I had lost weight. Definitely, you don't keep any weight on, and it'll burn it. Just moving around, just going out and doing stuff will and you kind of start watching what you eat a little better and stuff like that. The fresh air, there's a lot of things that go into the ingredient, but I think your health is definitely much better because of it. And I'm 78 years old, and I can still go out and ride 100 miles. So
a big old show off.
No, it's just anybody.
I was just kidding with you because you said it. You should know that by now, John. But anyway,
yes,
good thing to know.
Any of us can go out, and it's just getting that kickstart to do it.
It does sound fun. When I first saw you do it, it looked so interesting. I was a little bit jealous, but I was also mindful of whatever was there for something else. But that did intrigue me, and you almost got me sold at that point. But wasn't my time yet. But it sounds like it's coming up. Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Sounds fun.
Worst you can do is meet a bunch of old veterans.
I have a question for you. When you said that electric motor, did VA issue that, or is that something you had to buy extra?
No, it was part of the bike. In fact, I got 2 batteries, so when I go, I have a spare battery for a backup. You can go, depending on how. Now, see, I run mine on the lowest speed, so I get about 45 miles out of a battery. And so I could go 90 miles on 2 batteries. If you open that thing up, you're not going to get but about 30 or 35 miles out of a battery.
Matter of conserving, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'm truly interested in staying fit. I think it helps. and my overall health tremendously. So I'm not going to go out there and not pedal, you know.
Yeah.
Right. But you get a little assistance every now and then.
Well, there's some hills that would cancel the ride. You know, some of these big hills that I live in the foothills, and every once in a while we, you know, hit something that's too steep, and it's awful nice to have that. And that stopping and starting over again is that's a big bite, and you need, you know, it's awful nice to have that assistance, and then you can, on the long term, keep pedaling a lot longer, I believe.
Sounds awesome. Mr. Host, is there
Well,
anything?
anybody else have any more questions?
I don't
Well,
have
if
a question.
not,
I'd like to tell
go
everybody
ahead.
to go to Cleveland.
Wait a minute, say that. Somebody was saying something.
I'm sorry. I just tell everybody just go to Cleveland and get your bicycle there. You know, they do everything for you once you get down there. It's just like any other BRC. They just take great care of you. You have a great time.
I think Cleveland is getting quite a bit of attention from us who've been there before. Several of us have been there, and I encourage anybody that has never been to Cleveland to go to the Cleveland BR. I think they take care of you with better care, more compassion and love. You feel warmed, and it feels like a total family there.
It does.
Because it's a smaller bed facility, but it's more warm and homely, and you want to go back. If you ever have any other problems, you want to go back there. So I would encourage that.
Their chief is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, too.
Yes.
And,
she is amazing.
She's a dog. Yeah. So.
She reminds me of the Energizer Bunny.
She's very energized. Denise is the director of the BRC in Cleveland, Ohio, and she is very energetic person, very wonderful, very informative, and very personal. If you remember at breakfast time, when we were having breakfast, she would come into the dining room and talk, have a little notepad, and anything that you had while you was eating breakfast to complain, she would write it down and take care of it before the end of the day for you. So that was an eyeful for me to see somebody actually complete what you asked them to do.
Yeah, and she was assistant chief when I was there.
Yeah,
and she's now chief. So that's great. Yeah. It's good to see they promote somebody that qualified.
The energy she has, she keeps it afloat, and that's what's making it even better even right now. So
it sure is.
I support Denise where she's at, and I keep telling them I'll be back to visit them soon. Well, John, is there anything else we need to know?
That's all I know. I hope the more that try to ride bikes, the better. I think it's good for everybody to at least try it and see if it's your cup of tea or not. I think you might be happily surprised to find that it's more beneficial to you, and happier that you do it. You feel better all the way around. So I encourage you.
Good deal. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close this session out, and appreciate everybody showing up tonight, and tell your friends and neighbors about NBVO and the good things we're doing here. And also tell them about Tech Talk Thursday and Adaptive Rec. So we hope to see you next time. And this is Ray Morales telling everybody good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming. Take care.
Good night. Catch y'all later.